Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 17 of the League One Review Show, or our Sunday therapy sessions, as they've been more,
So
likely
Dan,
known.
explain to me 5 simple ways how Doncaster Rovers this week hurt you.
Oh, wow. How long have we got?
Well, about 30 minutes, but we've got other results to do first.
We will go through Doncaster absolutely destroying my weekends over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I am joined as usual with Punk Chef 41. Link to his YouTube channel is down in the description down below. Tell anybody who's new to the channel what you're all about, mate, and plug whatever you need to plug.
So I am a Sheffield Wednesday fan for my sins. I've been doing Wednesday content for I think we've worked out the other day, about 10 years now. And just been talking random stuff about Wednesday and the results and preview, review, transfers, all that lot. I also have a podcast that I do with another Wednesday YouTuber called That Dirty Box, which is the Talking Wednesday, out every Tuesday on the YouTube channel That Dirty Box, and it's on all podcast platforms of choice. And yeah, we talk about football in general, and I hopefully am a good therapy session counsellor for Dan.
You are, mate. I do look forward to these Sunday sessions, definitely. The League One review, it's been missing for 3 weeks now, I believe. I think we need to go back to the 18th of December. We've got 24 games to go through.
We had this strange thing in the middle called Christmas and New Year's, and neither one of us wanted to do it.
Yeah, it was so busy, just absolutely rammed full, and just difficult to find the time to get together and chat for half an hour. As normal, please get your comments in the section down below and in the chat. If you're watching this on repeat, also comment. I do try and get back to everybody who comments later on as well. We've got Tyler in the chat evening. How did Charlton get on in the FA Cup? They did get beat by Norwich, I think, but competitive. We will have a look. Let us know, Tyler, in the chat. We've got a very happy Miller in Ian Bradley saying, evening, fellas.
1-0 to
hi, Dan and Jake. We've got Jonathan Harris, also MK Dons. So welcome to the show. So let's get straight into it. If you've seen Jake's tweet earlier, he asked me to, he told me to bring some strong alcohol. We have got that. We're there. We're ready. It is needed because it's been a tough festive period for Doncaster Rovers in particular. But let us start with the 18th of December. So the way that we're going to work this, because there's so many games to go through and we don't want to keep people for over an hour like we sometimes do, is just catch up with the results, just kind of go through the results. So on the 18th of December, we had a 3-1 win for Shrewsbury against Cheltenham. That's a very good result towards the bottom end of the table. Ipswich and Sunderland fought out a 1-1 draw.
I think that's a cracking result for Ipswich as well.
Yeah, very good result for Ipswich. Morecambe and Fleetwood, a local derby, finished scoreless, 0-0 there. Rotherham beating Cambridge 1-0. And continuing their run of unbeaten games. I think that took them to 20 or 21. Plymouth beating Charlton 1-0. Charlton looking good under the new ownership, under the new manager. I believe that would maybe have been the first defeat under him. I may be wrong on that as well. Tyler, let us know. He has got back in touch about the FA Cup. Yeah, we lost 1-0 to Norwich, but we gave it a very good go. Norwich was shocking, but the fitter team won on the day. Feel proud after that performance. Now,
I can't say better than that then.
Yeah, that is something that I will get to on the Doncaster Rovers performances, because I have not been proud to witness any of them over the festive period. And then the final game on the 18th of December, Oxford 2, Wigan 3. So a good game there. Yeah. Moving on to, do you want to say anything on those games, Jake?
It was a weird one, because you're looking at these games, and I think the game for me out of all of them that stands out is Ipswich, because they got the new manager in. And you'll see later when we look at some game, he got them humming. He hasn't taken them long to do it, and there's a lot of people who are calling it maybe they might go the wrong way kind of thing, but it coming and it worked. It's that kind of new manager bounce you want to see.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got the squad there that was capable. I just don't think Paul Cook was getting the most out of that squad there, and it just shows sometimes that new manager bounce or that change, that fresh pair of eyes on something can make a massive difference. Tyler's helped me out. Yeah, Plymouth was Jacko's second defeat, not his first. So lost to Shrewsbury earlier that month. But it's been a good start for Jacko at Charlton, definitely from the position that they were in under Adkins. They've come on leaps and bounds as well. And then we had Christmas, so a very Merry Christmas to everybody watching. I hope you all had a good one, stayed safe and all of that, and hope you had a happy New Year as well. But yeah, Boxing Day fixtures, wasn't too many. COVID's impacted everything over the festive period, but there were a few managed to get played on the 26th. Cheltenham got beat 2-0 by Plymouth. Fleetwood got beat 3-0 by Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury turning a bit of a corner. Accrington ending that long undefeated run for Rotherham, beating them 1-0. Ian, he's already preempted me asking about how Accrington deserve to beat us. Formidable at the one. They are a very difficult team to beat. And then a good one for Jonathan Harris. Lincoln flew into a 2-0 lead very early on, 10 minutes in, and then Scott Twine once again runs the show and they turn it around. And we will talk about another game that got turned around over the festive period as well. So on to the first game of our two teams. First one was Doncaster, and that was on the 27th. It was on Sky, so I'm guessing a number of you watched it.
I watched it.
Yeah, difficult watch, mate, wasn't it?
It's up until the second goal for Sunderland, you were starting to get back into it, and I'm thinking, right, you might actually be able to turn a bit of a corner. But as soon as that second goal went in, you just saw the body language of all the players. The players, the head went down, the body language like, oh, we're done here. And we'll get into Sunderland when they played us, but they are very good at the minute, and they're going on that really fast little run at the end of the season now, where near the end of the season where you get into that middle part where if they keep it up, they'll definitely be up either automatics. It's just going to see if it can between Rotherham or Sunderland at this rate.
Yeah, we're going to looking decent up there as well. But this game, I think it just showed the lack of experience we've got in our squad and the lack of ability at the minute. It was a very young team put out. I felt for Ben Blythe with the own goal on 50 minutes. Couldn't really get out of the way of it. But we offered very little. Anthony's at the nail on the head. Pritchard is amazing for Sunderland. Anthony's a Huddersfield fan. So he said it was shocking for them and injured most of the time, but bought him for 10 mil and he ended up going on a free. So a big loss on him, but Pritchard absolutely ran the show against us. We just couldn't contain him and couldn't contain a very good Sunderland team. And unfortunately, we fell to a 3-0 defeat. I didn't expect anything from this game. So in terms of therapy sessions this Sunday, there was nothing needed on this one because I went into the game expecting a defeat because of how good Sunderland are. It's one of those games where you look on the calendar and you just think, if we get a point from that, I'll be quite happy. Over the last few seasons when Sunderland have been in League One, we haven't beat them yet. So it was one of those that I kind of chalked off as, if we get anything from it, it's a positive. But it's just the lack of kind of any fight or desire in our squad at the minute. There's just no kind of team ethic. There's no cohesion. You name it. It's all the usual sound bites for a team that's.
All your leaders tend to be either off the pitch, or in the fans, or it's a strange one because we were speaking before we went live. It's like something's obviously since Darren Moore left is not right, kind of thing. Like the thing with I've seen so many people say Darren Moore gone for the money or that kind of stuff. He's got nothing to spend at Wednesday, even if it's for his own wages. He's still not been able to spend anything. So that argument doesn't make sense. It just screams that there's something still not right. But like you said earlier, just tell us we're planning for League Two and we can get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, like Jake says, we were chatting before we came on air, and I think as a fan, I'd much rather the board come out and say it's been a terrible 2021. The back end of last season was shocking. The first half of this season has been just as bad. I think we came into the game against Fleetwood with 4 wins, 16 points. I believe that was the same as the last 23 games of last season. And it's just difficult watching, and there's something clearly wrong within the club. But I don't think we'll ever get to find out what that is.
Wait until the book.
Yeah, definitely. We will see. Jonathan said, wasn't after 8 minutes. What? Have I missed something here? It's 2-0 down on 8 minutes. That's right, isn't it?
Obviously not.
Help me out, Jonathan. I'm struggling with that one. I thought it was 2-0 down on 8 minutes, and then you've turned it around. I think Google's done me up a kipper there as well. Please help me out on that one. Moving on to the games in between Christmas and New Year, that time period where nobody knows what day of the week it is or what time it is. Overindulge on turkey and treats and stuff. And to be fair, I think Chef Wednesday may have been one of those teams that overindulged on.
To be fair, we hadn't had a game over the Christmas period. Our last game was 2-week crew. And fair play to Darren Moore. He didn't use the stadium, the ground and everything, having the COVID outbreak. He said, we weren't professional. We should be turning up for games like this. Doesn't matter if he's had injuries or what. At one point, there was only 7 players in training. So it shows you how much it did hit us. But what can you say? They were just clinical, and that's something we're not. And watching this, as the game was going, it's like you knew we were going to get a hat trick. You knew Roth was going to get a hat trick. He was just having one of them games. And when I saw him versus Donny, I was like, we're going to have to struggle if we don't turn up. And it just didn't happen. And it's just one of those ones where I kind of had a funny feeling that this wasn't going to be good because of us having so much of a break. And on Ian's thing, how's Agent Wing doing? He's not been doing that great, to be fair. He's we've not seen the wing that was at Rotherham, but I don't know if that's a situation that Paul Warren could got the best out of him. But it just turned into one of those situations where we went from being 12 undefeated at Christmas. I think having the break actually was the worst thing to happen to Wednesday. But we've never been
lost that momentum.
Yeah, but we've never been a team that does well after Christmas. We've always lost so many points, so it doesn't surprise me that it started early. But like I said, fair play to Dan Moore and turning around and say, look, I'm not blaming anything. It was crap.
Nice, short and simple. We weren't very good.
Yeah, pretty much.
See, I'm worried we've got Sunderland away early February, and I can see it being a similar, if not bigger, scoreline if we've not made any new additions or if we don't show any sort of fight or desire. Very disheartening. Other games in that middle period between Christmas and New Year, disappointing result for the Rovers with a 2-1 win for Crewe over Morecambe. That put Crewe above us and put us at the bottom of the table. Massive result for Crewe there, and it brought Morecambe down into the mix at the bottom end of the table. Jake said earlier, Ipswich starting to tick over nicely under the new gaffer, and a 1-0 win against Wycombe is not to be sniffed at. Wycombe, a very good team at this level. Oxford winning 3-0 against Wimbledon. Oxford still ticking over in and around the top 6. I think they should be there come the end of the season. And then a bit of a bore draw for Shrewsbury against Accrington.
But you know the Shrewsbury-Accrington game? That just it's one of those games that just screams it's a League One game. You can tell. When you just hear that on the fixture list, you know what kind of thing it is.
But looking at that, Accrington absolutely battered them in terms of shots, but just not very clinical, not too many on target. And like you say, it just screams League One, doesn't it? Shrewsbury versus Accrington. It's got to be a 0-0.
Yeah.
And that moves us on to 2022. So I've already said Happy New Year. So once again, Happy New Year. I hope everybody's had a good start to 2022, or I hope everybody's had a better start to 2022 than us Rovers fans. Rotherham definitely have, with a 2-1 win over Bolton, with Michael Smith getting the brace there.
I'm still shocked about Ladapo handing a transfer request, though.
Me too. It kind of plays second fiddle to Michael Smith. I think Smith is obviously the better striker of the two, but players like to move on. Some players don't like to be in the shadow of other players. And from what I'm getting from social media, is a very one-man team.
Yeah.
And it's all about him. So maybe Rotherham will be better off without him.
But yeah,
we were lucky. They missed 2 sitters late on. So I think that's the thing though. When you're up there fighting at the top of the table, you make your own luck, and sometimes you get the rub of the green as well. Whereas us down at the bottom of the table, we get absolutely nothing.
You want to? We'll get on to that later.
Yeah, definitely. Oxford. Other results: Oxford 1, Cheltenham 1, MK Dons 0, Gillingham 0. That's a disappointing result for MK Dons, in my opinion.
Yep.
Again, absolutely battered Gillingham, and a team struggling down at the bottom of the table when you MK Dons trying to establish yourself in the top 6. These are the games that you need to be getting 3 points from, definitely. And unfortunately, just couldn't break it down. 17 shots, only 3 on target. You need to be doing better than that if you're going to turn teams over in League One. Poor Tyler in the chat.
Tyler, don't tell me you're 20. You're making me feel old, mate.
I know. So unfortunately for Tyler, this one was a bit of a downer on his 20th birthday. Yeah, can always count on the Addicts to ruin it somehow. By all means, mate, come and support Rovers. Every single weekend is ruined. But Sam Vokes, bit of a cheat code at League One, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I still can't believe he's in League One.
Yeah. A fairly even game, though. It's one of those games where could have gone either way for me. Burton absolutely battered Crewe 4-1. So that gave us a little bit more optimism going into the Morecambe game the day after. Crewe still in touching distance for us. And I'll get onto that after Jake's told us all about Shrewsbury 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
We didn't turn up. Very, very simple. It's very weird at Wednesday at minute, especially when we come against teams like this. We have this habit of, if it's a team near the bottom, we don't perform. Granted, we didn't perform well when we got battered 5-0, but I think it's this whole situation. Wednesday's going through a little bit of it's that mid-season trying to figure out where we are. I think where we are is the right position, but fans obviously saying who thought we were going to walk this league, thinking we should be top, we'd be fighting that. We're still in and around it. We just can't take our chances that well. And it was one of those games watching. It's like, you were like, are we going to get anything out of this today? And sadly not. And we got that whole situation. Like this week, we've had it that Jonathan will be happy because he got Theo Corbeanu on loan from Wolves. He got recalled by Wolves, went straight back out to MK Dons. But it's the issue we have whenever you get a loan player, we get hooked and we like them. You like them, especially and then you forget their loan. When they're treating like Theo's like the second coming. No, he's just the Wolves player that's gone back on loan to MK Dons. Yes, it is annoying that he's gone to a rival, but he wasn't playing in the right position. He's not played enough games. And at the end of the day, you're the club that's loaning the player out. You want him to play week in, week out. If he's not playing week in, week out, you're not going to keep him. Yes, I understand.
Like you say, you also want him to be in the right position as well, because they'll be expecting him to develop in a certain way.
The line from Wolf was he's gone back out to get his development in playing in a formation that suits him in his right position. Yeah. That says it all. He's been playing him in the wing back, and he's a winger. But we've had let me think. Callum Patterson plays striker, winger, midfielder, central defender. Liam Palmer played all across the back three. We got players who are playing in, out, and everywhere. We haven't got any centre backs. And I think at the start of the season, he was going to play with wingers. But then when you start getting injuries after injuries, we started with 4 at the back and then went to 3 when we started getting players getting cropped.
I think you've got to be flexible. You've got to adapt to what situation you're in. Yeah. And I think we've seen it as Rovers fans when Darren was at ours. I think we had Reece James, who was naturally a left back, playing at CDM, playing at left mid, playing at cam. He played absolutely everywhere. And I think Darren likes a versatile player who was consistent across any positions. So I think
wish we stopped playing it out from the back because it keep giving me heart palpitations.
Yeah.
Because you just said in the Shrewsbury game, there was an incident where we kept on playing it to Liam Palmer. It was the only ball we were playing out from the back, or we play it to the Johnson and he play it back to keeper, and then it'll go to Palmer. Like, a smarter footballer sees that and cuts that out straight away and stops you doing it. You do it once and you get caught out.
Yeah.
And I don't get what this whole situation is with team playing out from the back. I've seen it in the Premiership, and I always see it just doesn't look well to me.
I think they've seen like your likes of Man City and Liverpool and teams like that being able to do it because they've got the ability there to do it, and they just seem to kind of follow suit. People are
like League One, Darren. League One is very simple and very easy. Route 1, hit it long. It worked for everybody, and it's been this way of doing it for years.
Definitely. Jonathan Harris kind of echoes what you said about MK Dons playing a similar way to what
he's a good player, but he's a flair player. He has lots of tricks, and we ain't got that kind of player we need right now. No. The only worry I would have is that there was some murmurings that he kind of rubbed up some Wednesday players the wrong way by going the big I am man from the Premiership kind of thing attitude. And
you don't want that disruption within a camp, do you?
No, and if that's the case, I can understand why Darren Moore's quite happy to let him go because he doesn't like big egos.
Yeah, definitely. Another result just after the New Year was Cambridge 0, Portsmouth 0. Very good result for Cambridge.
Especially when they're down to 10 men.
Yeah, down to 10 men for 30 minutes of the game. So they'll be happy with that point. A fantastic result for them in the FA Cup as well, knocking Newcastle out.
What Ian just said.
So, on to the Morecambe Doncaster Rovers game. And
are you all sitting comfortably? Dan's got a
I will
really
be as quick as possible on this
nightmare.
Because if I stay on it too long, I'll probably end up starting to cry. It's painful. It is really painful, guys. I think you've seen it over the last half season. Creating content has got much more difficult for me.
I think I sent you a message at half time going, bloody hell, what's going on?
You did. But yeah, it's getting much more difficult to kind of remain positive when creating content. And we were travelling home. We've been away for the New Year, me, Vicky and the dog, and I managed to, here we go, Jonathan Harris waiting for this. We were travelling home from kind of up near Whitby way, managed to get Radio Sheffield just before half time. So obviously I'm driving, I've seen Jake's message come through, not been able to read it. And then Radio Sheffield comes on, it's all sounding very positive. I'm thinking, we must be 1-0 up, maybe. No, we're 3-0 up. So find out that we're 3-0 up. I think fantastic. Maybe we've turned a corner. Garrett McSheffrey's first game in charge. A little bit more positivity around the camp. It sounded like the away end was a collective away end, and the club was seemingly going in the right direction. And that is where the positives end for 2022. But before I go on to the negatives, I think we need to actually look at that positive.
Yeah.
Doncaster Rovers have scored 3 goals away from home. That's something that we've not done. Under Gary McSheffrey, the results haven't been there, but I think the performances have been much better if you take out this second half and the Fleetwood game. I think he's getting something from the squad. Is it going to be enough to keep us up? I don't think so. I think these 2 results that we've had in 2022 so far are very damning results down at the bottom end of the table, especially with our fixtures coming up. But yeah, the second half, Cole Stockton and Morecambe. If Cole Stockton is playing well, Morecambe play well.
If Cole Stockton scores, they win.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Roy. So Roy in the chat, Dan can't see where we're going to get a win in the next 9 games. Neither can I, but
by a magic 8 ball.
Yeah, I'd have thought we'd have won one of these 2 at least. So football's a funny old game. Hopefully a couple of these big guns that come down to the Eco Power Stadium, as it's called now, or if we go to them, maybe they might underestimate us. They might think it's going to be a walkover. A couple of additions into this squad, a bit of experience. Who knows?
Have you got any kind of additions possibly coming? I heard that you had lots of targets being talked about, and then it's all gone quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's gone very quiet. I'm waiting until the end of January to judge what this transfer window has been. Personally, I think we should have signings in this week.
Yeah.
I don't get why we've not got signings.
You got players that have gone back to parent clubs as well.
Only Vilka He's gone back to Newcastle, so I've only got one that's returned back to his parent club. But for me, there's a lack of movement. But who would want to come to Doncaster Rovers at the minute? Because to throw away a 3-goal lead in professional football is just
unacceptable.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. It is embarrassing. Andrew said it. Absolutely embarrassing. I'm not sure about the board selling up and having to go.
The only problem you got that with, Andrew, you've got to have somebody willing to come and buy a club. It's the same thing I say when people say Chansiri should leave Wednesday. There's got to be a buyer there to buy the club. It's all well and good people saying that club want to be sold, or I said it a lot during the pandemic that not people are wanting to buy a club during a pandemic. If people are mega rich, they'll buy what they want. But if you're looking at it as a business, football clubs are not businesses in terms of how they make and lose money. They lose more money. The one thing that you had with Newcastle when Mike Ashley was there, yes, he was stingy with how he spent the money with the club, but Newcastle were always making a profit. And that's something you never see that often.
And that's similar at Donny. We keep on getting sold this self-sustainable model with Club Doncaster, and for me personally, I've not seen the club in such a good position off of the field in terms of finances since I've been a fan. But I'm a fan. The fundamental pleasure of going to football is seeing a competitive team. I don't expect us to win every game. I expect us to have more bad seasons and good seasons. I'm a Doncaster Rovers fan. I don't support one of the top 6 in the Premier League. I don't expect to win every game we play or win every competition that we're entered into.
Just expect to see a little bit of fight.
Yeah, passion, fight, determination, just a bit of pride to actually wear the shirt. If I was on that pitch, you'd have to carry me off on a stretcher.
Well, you have been. You've done it in charities.
Yeah, but I was very unfit.
I know it's not the same thing, but you acted like it was an actual game for Donny Rovers. You were proud to play it.
Yeah, those games mean a lot, and hopefully they're asking for players for this year. So I've put my name down again. So hopefully I'll get a third chance at that. And if I do, I'll be tapping all of you up for a little bit of money
next year. Consider he's now manager.
Yeah, credit to Morecambe in this game. 3-0 down at half time, coming out and absolutely battering us in the second half, and we just crumbled. The experience.
It's the fight you want to see, and they got it.
Yeah. Well, Andrew's replied. So, Jake, if you're in our position,
I've been in your position. We're in this position last year when we went down. People wanted him to go. We've had point deductions. We can't buy or sell players. I understand what you're saying, but there needs to be someone willing to buy your club. I don't know that, and Dan don't know that, and you don't know that. You still need to have someone wanting to buy Doncaster Rovers Football Club. I don't get how you sell something at the moment that's in the position it's in. How do you make it look like a really viable option?
Yeah, I think this is a really good point from Silent Viking 94. I'm not sure who this is, but the board aren't at fault because Club Doncaster oversees the Bells, which is a female team, the Knights, which is a rugby team. All of the subsidiaries of Club Doncaster get the same treatment. Both of those clubs are thriving, and there's just something not right in the
Doncaster Rovers bit then.
Yeah, there's just something that's not quite clicking.
And by the way, Andrew, I wasn't having a go. I'm just saying, if you want someone to come in and buy something, if you want to sell a house and you want to get good whack for it, you need to do it up a bit.
This is true. Cheers, Ian. Some incredible away days next year. Sutton, Stevenage, Salford. Cheers, mate.
Hey, you never know. You might bump into Gary Neville at a Salford game.
Is there a block button? So Silent Vikings pop back in. It's just a footballing structure that is a mess, and
sounds it.
According to reports, they are working on that. Is it a little too late at the minute? Or it feels like it is because yesterday's game, another team that's fighting down at the bottom of the table, and
very happy
the win for them. Yeah, Nappers was very happy. Nice to meet up with him and have a chat and catch up. But this just shows Fleetwood sell a player for 1.6 million or whatever it was. Within days, they've recruited somebody, and that individual has scored the winning goal. So for me, I don't want the board to panic buy. I just think that they should have had people in place by now, and those should have been coming in because of our position in the table. But I'm not privy to the conversations that happen at the club. I'm not privy to the conversations that happen between players. Never have been, probably never will be. I don't know how difficult and complicated contract negotiations are.
And to be fair, do you want to be? Because that then takes away you kind of being a fan. If you know little bits like that, you kind of see it a little bit differently, don't you?
Yeah, I think the emotion has started to be taken out of it, and I'd probably have a bit more rationale with some of the arguments that I've got, or I'd have a little bit more information to back up arguments rather than just kind of throwing things out there. But I think at the minute there's so much raw emotion as a Rovers fan because we are so poor on the pitch. And yeah, we need to focus on next year. As survival this year seems highly unlikely. Definitely. I think we're down. These two results have been the hammer blow for me this season.
I'll tell you now, Gary McSheffrey for you is similar to us last year getting Darren Moore in. It said it was League One football. And it feels like Gary McSheffrey saying, look, we're going to give you a chance and let you do it, but you're going to be starting at the bottom of the big pyramid that is the football in terms of professional football leagues. Yeah,
potentially. I mean, Anthony came to the game with us yesterday. It was terrible. No passion, no shots till 92nd minute. Easy passes going astray. Nobody moved. Yeah, the movement, they're very static, and Fleetwood pressed very, very well. So, difficult one to take, but one that we have to put behind us and move on from. So,
bloody hell, Anthony just said Forest dumped Arsenal out of the cup. Dore will be happy.
Yeah, Dore on tour will be absolutely buzzing. And to round off this video, we've caught up. We are now up to date. Chef Wednesday didn't play. You should have had. Who was it? It's gone. I did have it.
Yeah, so did I.
It's gone. Yeah. But whoever you were played in the FA Cup, I believe.
Yep.
So no fixture for you yesterday. Another weekend off, but
should have been Morecambe.
There we go. Who performed admirably today against Spurs. But Gillingham got battered 4-0 at home to Ipswich, and that
Ipswich are now worrying me because they're starting to come up in the table. If you see the table, it's so tight.
Some cracking football in that game as well to absolutely carve Gillingham open.
And that was Steve Evans' last game.
Yep. So it came out today that Steve Evans has been relieved of his duties as Gillingham manager. I'm glad it came now because I wouldn't want him at Doncaster Rovers. I'm not a fan of Steve Evans. No. Never have been. I don't think I ever will be. But it's never nice seeing a manager lose his job because sometimes it just doesn't work and the results just don't come. And for Gillingham, it's been a tough season. They've had injury after injury. It's been a similar season to what we're having, really. But it's a results game.
Interesting scene with Ipswich, though. James Norwood on the score sheet again.
Yes, since Cook left, Norwood scored in pretty much every game. So it just shows a new pair of eyes, a fresh way of looking at something can get the best out of a player. The game of the day for us, though, was Wickham against Sunderland, 3-3. It kind of ebbed and flowed, swung left and right, and two.
A 90-minute winner that Sunderland thought they had on 93, and then 98-minute winner. Jesus.
A great advert for League One football.
Yeah, it really is. Why does the cameraman there look like, what do you call it? He looks like Wickham's manager.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. I was like, why is he holding a camera? What's going
on? Brilliant. A fantastic result for Lincoln, 2-0 against Oxford. Herbie Kane getting sent off in that one, and that's just eased a little bit of pressure down at the bottom of the table for Lincoln. And watching the highlights of this one just showed me how far off we were yesterday to actually performing at a standard that we should be to fight at the bottom of the table. Lincoln did everything that we should have done. So well done, Lincoln. And then 2 1-1 draws to finish off the results. Cheltenham 1, Burton 1, and Accrington Stanley 1, MK Dons 1. With Jonathan being in the chat, let us know your thoughts before we head onto the table. From an outsider looking in, it looks like another dominant display from MK Dons, and just that lack of clinicalness to kill a team off. any thoughts on any of those, Jake, before we move on to the table?
Not really. Can look at the table. If you guys are busy Tuesday and fancy it. Oh, might do that. They're on iFollow.
I am busy.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So onto the table, we will start down at the business end.
you tip it upside down, you top.
Yeah, we're doing all right if we look at it upside down. Before we do go into that, though, we've got Silent Viking back in. I feel like Gary shouldn't stay next year as his inexperience doesn't help, but I'd take him for the rest of the season. Yeah, but you've got to get experience somewhere. I think he will make a good manager.
You got to get it somewhere. It's that whole stupid thing where you go to an interview. Say you're a general person going for a job interview, and you go for it. Say, "Oh, we're not going to hire you. You haven't got enough experience," and then it keeps happening. Oh, you're never going to get the experience unless somebody takes a chance on you.
Wish it was. But yeah, for me, I get why you probably don't want Gary to stay next season because of his inexperience. But what I'd worry about there is we're giving him a transfer window now. Then potentially we're going to get somebody in at the end of the season who's going to say, I don't want any of these players, and then it's going to be a complete rebuild again. For me, should we be looking at longevity, accepting that we're going to be in League Two and trying to build a squad that's capable of getting us back into League One, where I believe that we probably belong. I don't think we're a championship team. I don't think we're big enough or competitive enough from a budget point of view, from a fan base point of view. It'd be nice to be there. I think we've seen in the past that we can be a mid-table championship team, but at the minute I think we're a mile off it. So my personal opinion would be keep Gary in the job, give him a couple of transfer windows to build his own squad, see how we do.
Jonathan just says Steve Evans is available.
Don't want him, Jonathan. Don't want him. This is true. Looking at the wider picture, I feel we keep him and work with him like other clubs have done. So kind of open to it. It's a discussion that we could go into for hours and hours. And I may do one of those live streams at some point where we get Rovers fans on to discuss it a little bit more, because I think it is good to have these therapy sessions. So onto the table before we finish off, because we are on 38 minutes. It's looking very bleak for Doncaster Rovers, rooted at the bottom of the table, 16 points. Crewe and Gillingham just above us on 18, and then we've got Morecambe on 23, all on the same games played, and then Fleetwood 9 points above us on 25 points. So it's not just that 9 points, but it's the goal difference.
I'm going to say, look at your goal difference. Your goal difference is insane.
Yeah, there's a couple of points there, isn't there?
Yeah.
If we win 4 games, if we win 3 games, for me, we need to win that 4th game, because the goal difference will still be in that bottom 4. I can't see teams above us losing 4 games as we're winning those 4 games. So it's looking very tough down at the bottom. So I'd say out of the bottom 4 at the minute, Gillingham to us, as we've been playing this season, I'd say we're looking like we're going down. And then I'd say it's anywhere from Morecambe up to probably Cambridge. Shrewsbury could get dragged back into it, but I'd say 16.
Also, cracking result for Cambridge in the cup.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, very bleak down at the bottom of the table. Hopefully we see some improvement on that. I don't want to be going down on 16 points, that's for sure.
No.
I don't want to be going down rock bottom either. I don't want to be going down, but if we are going down, I don't want to be rock bottom.
Yeah.
No,
that feels.
Yeah,
that last season.
Top of the table, it's looking good for Rotherham. A game in hand over Sunderland, same points.
I say from 10th, well, even 11th to 3rd, it's tighter than anything.
Definitely. The results over the festive period have tightened it up a little bit. I think MK Dons may have been in the top 6 before Christmas.
Yeah.
So a couple of poor results for those have dropped them out of it. Plymouth still hanging on in there. They were flying at the start of the season, but like you say, it's so tight. There's going to be twists and turns.
Yeah.
I've got Brian Vaughan.
At the minute, where Wednesday's sitting is roughly about where I said we finish. I said we finish about mid-table, because it was a very tough transfer window to start with. Couldn't spend any money, and still in that same particular now. And I thought we were going to take it. if we go on a run like we've just been on, where it was 12 unbeaten and we turn them into wins, who knows? But it's getting us back down to that whole situation with just coming off at the back of 2 losses back to back. How the team going to respond?
Your next fixture, I just have a quick
look. We've got Plymouth, Oxford, and then Ipswich. So all games I don't really want in January.
That's a tough triple header.
And then you look at our February is even worse.
Where have you gone?
February for Wednesday, it's Tuesday for Saturday, Morecambe, Burton, Wigan, Rotherham, Accrington Stanley, Donny, Fleetwood, Charlton. That's February.
I'd say you're getting 15 points out of that.
If we get that, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Whereas Doncaster, we have got a very tough period coming up with Wigan Saturday, MK Dons the Saturday after. Plymouth, I'm guessing, will be cancelled or rearranged because FA Cup fourth round weekend is that weekend, I believe. I've got Rotherham at home, Sunderland away, Ipswich at home, Portsmouth away, Lincoln, who...
Could you possibly be relegated by the time you get to us? I don't want to be saying that as a nasty thing, but looking at those results, I'm just trying to see where do you get points from.
I can't see us getting points at all. The next one where I thought we may get points is Gillingham at home. It depends who they get in. That manager bounce. So yeah, I can't see where our next points are coming from, and that's very disheartening as a Rovers fan. And on that happy note. Yeah, there we go. Cheers, Jonathan.
Just remember, you like League Two tours. You told me off before with Liz, you like doing League Two tours and stuff.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, you have some new ground to tick off your list.
Yeah, exactly.
There
you go. We have got one reply.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Appreciate it.
There we go. That's why he's on the channel. We get people on the channel who talk sense. We do like talking sense on this channel. Sometimes I don't, but I try and get the guests on who do.
At the minute, I'm just a happy, positive person trying to cheer him up.
Yeah. And I was speaking to Anthony yesterday.
That bottle of rum he had was half full.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, spoke to Anthony yesterday walking away from the ground and said, you look at the teams that dropped down out of League One last season, I don't think any of them have walked it. No, I mean, Bristol Rovers down in the bottom 6, I believe. Rochdale struggling.
League Two up.
It's a tough league, so I can't see us bouncing straight back, and it's tough. But yeah, that's where we'll leave this one. It's been great to get back and chatting. It's been, like I say, 3-4 weeks, I think it's been.
Yeah.
And I have missed these shows. I know it's been tough. Yeah, it's been tough creating them because of the performances on the pitch, but I think it's nice to talk football, to get through as many comments as we can as well in the half an hour to an hour. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. As I say, we do try to talk sense. We are very realistic with our expectations of our individual clubs, and we know that we're not going to win every game. It'd just be nice to win a game. So that's where we're going to leave this one.
I think I'll go for Doncaster over just being able to hold on to a lead that we weren't able to do for a while. So let's work on that, and then we can work on your scoring again.
But yeah, that's where we're going to leave this one. Next week, I will have to do early because we've got some plans Sunday night. I will update you with the time, maybe midday, but we'll work that out. I will post it on my Twitter. As I say, head over to Jake's socials and his YouTube. Please follow him, subscribe, do all the usual stuff. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it. Comments in the section down below if you're watching this on repeat later on in the week. Subscribe to me if you haven't already, please. We're getting close to 2,500 subscribers. All that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.